chemicals.
Mr. President, you clearly have big plans for the future, and you're at the start of your presidency. But I think it's really important to talk about the past, both because of what Zimbabwe's been through and because you have been a leading light in the ruling party for almost all your life. What would you say then? Let's address one particular phase in Zimbabwe's history, and that was the period in the early 1980s when you were in charge of state security and when terrible massacres took place in Matabeleland. Do you acknowledge that you were in a position of power when those massacres took place?
I was Minister for National Security, that's National Intelligence. That is correct. We are not saying the past must be thrown away from history. It has happened, it is there. Currently, just a week ago, I have signed a bill, the National Healing and Reconciliation Bill. We have signed it into an act. And I've signed one of my vice presidents to deal with that one so that the communities that were affected can air their grievances and challenges, and government, with recommendations from that commission, we should be able to address those issues that are...
Is it going to be a Truth and Reconciliation Commission?
It's not called a Truth and Reconciliation Commission. It's called a National Healing and Peace Commission.
Okay.
Yes.
And will you be appearing before it?
No, they themselves are going to the communities that are affected. If they ask me to come for any reason, I will.
Okay, but then what would you like to say now, 2 months into your presidency, what would you like to say now about how you feel about that time and how you feel about having been in a position of power when as many as 20,000 people were killed in Matabeleland?
I understand that those are the figures that are being flighted, but on the ground, I don't think that is the correct figure being flighted in that area. The most important thing is that what has happened has happened. What can we do about the past? We have put up a commission to deal with that issue. That should not stop us to have a better future, where all the communities should be united, should cooperate, should love each other, should work together. This is the message which we have. We are more worried now about how, in the future, we should have a united Zimbabwe.
The figure of 20,000 deaths came from the Catholic Commission for Justice and Peace. You could just apologize for what happened at that point, and that would be a powerful signal that Zimbabwe is truly moving into an era where it has acknowledged the past properly.
In my view, there's nothing more than me putting legislation where a commission headed by a vice president and most eminent persons in Zimbabwe to deal with that issue and make recommendations. At the time in 1987, my former president and the president of ZAPU, the late Vice President Joshua Nkomo, came together and cobbled out a unity accord which ended that conflict.
Yes, but I'm asking you, because you've taken over from Mr. Mugabe after 37 years, what is it that stops you saying the words, "I'm sorry for what happened in that time," in a way that presidents, prime ministers have apologized for things that happened even many decades before they were in power, as a way of having a proper reckoning with the past?
Let me assure you, just recently I had a meeting with the chiefs from Matabeleland, discussed with them. It is them, because I feel there's that bad page in our history, and we would want to correct it. We would want to say, wherever a wrong was committed, right, we must say the government of the day must apologize. Wherever a community had suffered any injury, if it is possible to have that injury repaired, we do it. So, as a community, as a government, and as traditional leaders, we have agreed on how to deal with that issue. And I'm happy that quickly, within the last 30 days or so, I've been able to put forward a legislation which I signed last week.
Okay. Is it possible then that you will say sorry in the future after the commission you're talking about in Zimbabwe has reached a conclusion?
My dear, my people and myself are determined to make sure that the commissions of the past the commission or the acts of commission, acts of omission or commission in the past, we have to interrogate them. Where the government of the day was wrong, we point out that that was wrong. Where the government of the day was correct, we should say so. And we have put up a machinery to achieve that. I don't know what your problem is, but this is how I'm dealing with the situation.
Okay. Let's talk about the political process of the future and the political process of the future. Elections are due to take place before September this year. Will they take place in that time frame?